In order to unlock zip lines and grounded, you will need to locate and complete the Hedge Lab password puzzle, obtain the Jungle Temple BURG.L Chip from inside of the Hedge Lab's lock control room, return it to burgle at Oak Lab, and then purchase the zipline recipe from the burgle swap shop for 7,500 raw science. Completing all of these tasks can be a bit tricky, so I'll try to walk you through it with the rest of the video. What up? It's Tiny Pirate Gaming back with another grounded tutorial video, and this time I'll be covering how to complete the Hedge Lab and obtain the Jungle Temple BURG.L Chip, which will unlock the zipline recipe in the burgle swap shop. But before I get started with today's video, if you're a fan of grounded related, grounded themed content, then you've come to the right channel, because basically that's all that I do here. So if you enjoy that, you could do me a huge favor by gently touching the like button, and I hope that this video earns your subscription today. The hedge region or biome is located in the southeast corner of the backyard beyond the flooded regions of the central grasslands. You should enter the hedge from the western side, where you will locate a twig and a paperclip, which will grant you access to the maze-like branches of the hedge's canopy. Upon ascending up this twig and into the branches, you will discover a field station, and inside are some notes related to story content and some shrunken granola bars that are yours for the taking. Continue up the branches, making your way towards a Puncho juice box that's been stuck in the hedge. Stay alert while traveling through the branches, as the entire area is infested with spiderlings that will attack you if they see you. When you reach the Puncho juice box, you will see a pre-built zipline anchor that zips off through the branches towards the east. Grab a drink of Puncho if you're thirsty, and then take the zipline over to the next section of the hedge. Here, you will want to continue east along the branch until you can notice a miniature lab outpost tucked into the hedge off in the distance. You will need to jump between a few branches and over some spider sacks to reach it, so do your best not to fall. Inside of this small outpost, you can find some additional granola bars, a folder of story-related content, an orb of raw science, and the bug juice scab scheme. Once you're finished here, leave the outpost and turn right to continue traveling east. If you aren't equipped with a glider, be sure to grab the spare in the hedge. When traveling through the upper branches of the hedge, it's always wise to make sure you have a glider equipped in case you fall. Anyway, if you continue forward and take the mushrooms around the left side of the branch, you will discover another zipline anchor that leads off towards a flying disc in the distance. Take this zipline and then advance along the branches to the top of the flying disc. Here you are likely to encounter 3 spiderlings, so be prepared for battle or to run. You can also acquire the Supreme Scab Scheme from the top of the Flingman flying disc. And also some extra raw science from the branch below. From the far side of the disc, you will spot another pre-built zipline anchor, and when you take it, you will end up in another lab outpost that's filled with more spiderlings and raw science. Also, from this point forward, you will often find fiber bandages within the labs. Make sure you grab them, you're going to need them. When you exit this outpost, turn left and advance up through the branches, across some mushrooms, and then up a leaf until you can see another pre-built zipline anchor off in the distance. Being extra careful not to fall, continue moving up towards this zipline. This is the final zipline before you enter the Hedge Lab, so make any final preparations, and when you're ready, take the zipline into the breached lab. In order to gain access to the lab's control room and retrieve the BURG.L Chip, you will need to locate 4 password pieces that are scattered around the lab. Before you start your search, I highly recommend you eliminate the enemies within the lab and explore it to familiarize yourself with its layout. The Hedge Lab is home to many enemies such as spiderlings, tasties, and orb weaver juniors, which are actually stronger than the full-sized ones. The first password piece is located in the first room of the lab that you enter. Inside of this room you can find an advanced looking workbench, an analyzer, and some fiber bandages. And if you haven't cleared the lab of enemies yet, you are likely to encounter some spiderlings and an orb weaver junior. The password piece is located in the back of this room and will be a torn piece of notebook paper with a 58 written on it. Another piece is down the zip line that leads out of this room, but there is a hedge berry blocking the path, which you can shoot off with an arrow. If you don't have an arrow like I didn't, there is an alternate way to get there by grabbing the zip line while jumping out of a nearby broken window. Before attempting this, however, make sure you hard save so that you can reload in case you miss the zip line when you jump. For now, however, let's move on to the next piece. Travel all the way to the highest room in the lab. You will know when you have found it because it is a storage room filled with a lot of resources and shelves with a zip line leading out of the back. Take the zip line and then drop down onto the top of the lab section with the open top hatch. You can also find an orb of raw science here. Next, drop down into the hatch and you will discover another piece of the password which reads Y. You can also grab another tape connected to the story content as well as more fiber bandages and granola bars. There's also a spiderling in here that you will need to bash, and before you leave, make sure that you break the spider webs and unseal both of the doors that lead into this room. Now it's time to return to the zipline anchor in the room with the workbench and analyzer, and take that zipline down into a room which is filled with spider web and spider sacks. Don't forget to knock off the berry blocking the zipline first, or jump onto the zipline like I did to avoid the berry altogether. Inside of this room you will discover some more raw science, a spiderling to fight, and another password piece labeled UR. After that, bash open the door and then cross the hallway over to a broken area of the lab's wall where you will find another zipline. Take that zipline down into a standalone room where you will discover the final password piece labeled T19. Now drop down through the hole in the floor and then travel back into the Hedge Lab and up through the hallways back into the first room where you arrived at when you first ziplined into the lab. Once you are there, you will now be able to activate the computer and open up the Hedge Lab's control room to activate the power switch. Inside of this room, you can also claim the rotten gas mask, a folder of notes related to story content, and the Jungle Temple BURG.L Chip. Once you have obtained the BURG.L Chip, all that is left to do now is to take it back to burgle at the Oak Lab and return it to him. When burgle has the chip, it will unlock the recipe for zip lines, which you will be able to purchase from the burgle swap shop for 7,500 raw science. And there you have it, all of the things you have to do in order to unlock zip lines and complete the quest for the Jungle Temple BURG.L Chip. If you enjoyed the video, you could do me a huge favor by gently touching the like button. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to see more exciting and informational, grounded-related, grounded-themed content here on Tiny Pirate Gaming, then I hope that this video earns your subscription today. You can also discuss grounded, gaming, anime, movies, and more with me live over on twitch.tv, so I invite you to follow me over there if you'd like. And to keep up with channel news, you can follow me on Twitter or join the Tiny Pirate Gaming Discord. Links to all of those are down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time...
Arg, matey, watch your step. There be a tiny pirate here.